Hello students, today I am here to provide the solution of nuclear medicine practice set number 1. So in this practice set number 1, there is some reference table has been provided which will utilize some data from this table. So in this there is some radionuclide has been written over here. These corresponding to this there is a gamma rate constant has been provided in RHM, and along with this the half value thickness of concrete, steel and lead has been provided. So we will use this reference table in our questions. Now I will take the first question of our this practice set. The first question of this practice set was a fume hood contains 3.7 gigabecquerel F18, 18.5 gigabecquerel molybdenum 99 and 1.85 gigabecquerel iodine 131 kept in a glass vial. These sources are shielded by a lead brick having 5 cm thickness. The distance between vial and the lead brick inner surface is 15 cm. So it has been provided that the glass vial to inner surface of lead brick distance is 15 cm, and along with this there is a provided that the outer surface of this lead bricks at 30 cm, the radiation level has been asked. So the 5 cm brick wall distance has been mentioned. So total distance where from the glass vial to the exposure level where it is asked, it is the 50 cm. So the total distance here will be the 50 cm. Now moving forward, then we have mentioned some data which has been provided and simplified the data according to this, that F18 the activity was mentioned at 3.7 gigabecquerel. So we will convert it into the Curie, divide this by the 37 and you will get the 0.1 Curie for this, and molybdenum the activity in gigabecquerel 18.5, then it will be divided by 37, then you will get the 0.5 Curie. Similarly for the iodine. Now the exposure rate constant for the F18 is 0.57 Roentgen per hour meter square per Curie, or for the iodine 131 it is a 0.22 Roentgen per hour meter square per Curie. Similarly the HBl value was corresponding to these pharmaceuticals for the lead brick has been mentioned over here as a 0.5 centimeter for the F18 and 0.3 centimeter for the iodine 131. As we know that molybdenum is mostly beta emitter, so there is a no contribution the exposure rate. We know that the photons because of the photons there is a exposure rate. Decay scheme there is a no gamma photon is involved, then there will not be any contribution from the exposure rate. So the molybdenum is excluded from the calculation. Now we will calculate for the F18 and iodine 131. After putting the all values according this in the formula, it has been simplified that there is a gamma 1 is a exposure rate constant of F18, A1 is the activity of F18 and D is the total distance where the exposure rate constant is where the exposure rate is asked. And similarly e raised to power minus mu t is used as a reduction factor because of this 5 centimeter lead brick. 5 centimeter lead brick, there the intensity of the photons will reduce, so the reduction factor will be utilized over here. So in this reduction factor you can write it as a simple way that mu as a 0.693 divided by HVL, and here is the total thickness of the material which is used, T is equivalent to 5 centimeter, and putting the values of HBl for the F18 and HBl value for the iodine 131, then you will get this reduction factor as a 1 raised 1 upon 2 raised to power 10. And another simplest way to calculate this reduction factor is that first we will calculate the number of HBl for this F18. To calculate the number of HBl, then it has been provided that 0.5 centimeter is the HBl value and total lead brick thickness is 5 centimeter. So 5 centimeter divided by 0.5 centimeter, this will be equivalent to the 10. So number of HBl value for the F18 will become as a 10, and similarly for the iodine 131 the HBl value will come 5 centimeter divided by 0.3, then it will be around 16.66. So you know that intensity is reduced by the HBl by 1 by 2. Suppose number of HBl is n, then intensity will reduce 2 raised to power n. Similarly, this value will be called as a reduction factor, and directly you can put the reduction factor value here. So the reduction factor for the iodine will be 1 upon 2 raised to power 16.6, that is, it is a HBl value. Similarly for the F18 it will be 10, so 1 upon 2 raised to power 10 will be the reduction factor for this. And after calculating this equations and all these things, then you will get the total value as a 2.23 microsievert per hour. Now we will move towards the another question. The another question is that the exposure rate at 50 centimeter distance from cobalt 60, it has been provided as 3200 microsievert per hour. So 50 centimeter it is provided, and the exposure rate at the 2 meter distance in millirongent per hour it is asked. So you know the exposure rate is inversely proportional to distance d square. So similarly this value will be used over here, and for the two equations has been provided. For the D1 exposure rate is x1 suppose, and D2 is the exposure rate, D1 distance exposure rate is x1, and for the D2 distance exposure rate is x2, 1 upon dt square. So here D1 is given, x1 is given, and D2 is given, and x2 has been asked in the question. So by using this inverse square law, we will calculate the values, and then first we will convert this 3200 microsievert into the millirongent per hour, because if the answer is asked in the millirongent. You know that 10 microsievert is equivalent to 1 millirongent. When you will, it comes actually the micro is 10 raised to power minus 6. And when you will convert this sievert into the rongent, then you have to use the 10 raised to power 2, then it will becomes 10 raised to power minus 4 rongent, and it value this 10 is multiplied, then it comes around 10 raised to power minus 3 rongent. So the 10 raised to power minus 3 rongent can be written as a 1 millirongent. So that would be the conversion of this 10 microsievert to the equivalent, which is 1 millirongent. So similarly we have written over here, and after using this equation, then you will get the value of 20 mR per hour. This will be the right answer for this question. Now we will move towards the another question. Another question is the how a specific gamma rate constant is defined in SI unit. All of you are well aware about that activity is defined in terms of becquerel in a SI unit. Here the definition is written everywhere as same. So definition point of view it is okay. The defined as a exposure rate at a specific distance from a given amount of photon emitting the radionuclide. But in SI unit most of you are not aware. You was confused actually. So when you will define the exposure rate at 1 meter, as it has been already defined in the reference table, that is rongent per hour meter square per curie. So this is a unit is mentioned over there. The Rongent in SI unit is generally defined as coulomb per kg, and this hour is generally defined in SI unit as a second, and similarly meter square is okay, but curie is defined in becquerel. So after putting these values in this formula, then you will get the coulomb per kg per second per becquerel at 1 meter. It will be the SI unit of this exposure rate constant. Now move to another question. It is calculate the exposure rate at 2 meter in Rongent per hour from a vial containing the 111 gigabecquerel F18. So we will use the data over here of the F18 gamma rate constant. So gamma rate constant is 0.57 Rongent per hour meter square per curie. Here at 2 meter exposure rate is asked. So first we will convert this gigabecquerel value into the curie. So you know that 37 gigabecquerel is equal to the 1 curie. So we will utilize this value, and after utilizing this value, then you will divide this 111 gigabecquerel divided by 37 gigabecquerel, you will get the 3 curie. Now putting these values in the formula, then you will get the exposure rate as a 0.4275 Rongent per hour. That C option will be the right answer for this. Now another question is calculate the exposure rate in Rongent centimeter square per millicurie per hour at 1 centimeter, where the exposure rate of thallium 201. So activity for this is provided 370 gigabecquerel, and exposure rate for this 370 gigabecquerel is 0.45 Rongent per hour at 1 meter. You know that thallium is a cyclotron produced. So first in this question we will convert this activity into the curie, then after it has been converted into the millicurie. Here the exposure rate constant has been used, and meter we will convert into the centimeter by using the 100 centimeter. Now you putting the all values in this formula, exposure rate constant. So exposure rate multiplied d square upon activity will provide you the exposure rate constant. Then by putting these values you will get the similar value in this for the Rongent per hour centimeter square per millicurie at 1 centimeter. The another question is what is the activity limit discharge of the patient administered with the beta emitter radionuclide P32? It is the right option is 200 becquerel, and the detail has been already provided in the ARV limits document, which has been ARV document, which has been detailed description has been provided for the when the patient is administered with different radiopharmaceutical, what will be the discharge limit. There is a number of pharmaceutical has been written over there. So for the P32 it is 1200 becquerel. Now the another question is an accident in a nuclear laboratory resulted the deposition of certain amount of radionuclide material of half-life 8 days inside the laboratory. Test revealed that the radiation was 64 times more than the permissible level required to safe operation of laboratory. What is the minimum number of days after which the laboratory can be considered as a safe use? So there is some spillage in the laboratory and of material the material for which the half-life is defined as 8 days. So in this first we will calculate according to the reduction factor. So here we will reduce this 64 times to 1 time. Then you will able to reach it, it is a safe. So you know that activity for the reduction factor we have defined as a 2 raised to power n. Similarly, in this question, so the n value, so reduction factor is have to be kept as a 1, then 1 upon 2 raised to power n equivalent to the 1 by 64, then n value has to be find out, then you will get the 2 raised to power 6 is equivalent to the n value, then 2 raised to power 6 which is equivalent to the 64. So n is a number of half lives which has to be kept, for which the radionuclide will decay. So half life is kept here the 8 days. You directly utilize the value of 6 and multiply with the 8 days, then you will get the 8 multiply into 6, then you will get the 48 days. Then after the 48 days, the facility will be safe for the operation. Here the detailed calculation has been explained for this question for the proper sake of understanding. You know the activity, initial activity A naught is here. Activity A equal to initial activity A naught e raised to power lambda t. Lambda value is here ln 2 divided by t half. So t half is provided here. T half is provided here as 8 days. Then you will directly use the value of t half as 8 days, and t time you have to be calculate over here. So t time calculation, the detailed value has been calculated. Then after that, the using these values, the A naught is considered as a 64, and the reduction from A naught activity to the activity 1, then it has been used, and after that you will get the exact value of the number of days t. So the number of days t will come equivalent to the 48 days. Now another 8th number is question is freshly prepared sample of radioisotope of half-life 60 days has the activity 103 disintegration per second. That activity is defined as 103 dps, and given that the ln2 value is 0.693, the fraction of initial number of nuclei expressed in the nearest integer percentage that will decay the first 80 seconds after the preparation of sample. So here this is 60 days is mentioned wrongly. Here it is a 60 days is not correct, and it is a 60 second. So by considering this correction, we will calculate this question. Now during the calculation, you know that activity is defined A equals to A naught e raised to power lambda t. Here lambda is defined as e raised to power 0.693, that is ln2 divided by t half. T half is a half life of this radionuclides, and the t is a time after which the activity is asked. So A naught is here provided as 103 dps. So A naught 103 dps multiply e raised to power minus 0.693 divided by t half is here 60 seconds multiply t after which the activity has been asked, it is a 80 second, and after the calculation of this, then you will get the value of 40.88 dps. And there is another way to calculate this, as we have already explained in the previous question for the HVL calculation. Similarly for the activity we can calculate. So suppose the half life of any radionuclide is provided, then after a time, certain time, the activity is asked, then you can do it in a short way. Then half-life will reduce the intensity of radionuclide by 1 by 2. Suppose n number of half-lives passed then the activity of radionuclide will be reduced by 2 raised to power n. So n is the number of half-lives here. So to calculate the n value for this question, then you will use this 60 second divided by, this 80 second divided by 60 seconds, then you will get the value 4 by 3. This 4 by 3 will be the number of half-lives. So the reduction factor for this 80 second time period, the reduction factor becomes 2 raised to power n, n is here 4 by 3. So directly putting this value in this question, then you will get the activity 40.88. Now the another question is 9 number, the calculate the allowable equivalent dose to the thyroid of a radiation worker in a year. Here for the thyroid we have to calculate the allowable dose limit. So radiation worker is exposed with the non-uniform radiation involving the whole body, lung as well as the thyroid. During the year he has received the equivalent dose of 10 millisievert to the whole body and 50 millisievert to the lung. So here we have to calculate the equivalence dose to the thyroid. Define effective dose for this is defined of particular organs as a equivalence dose multiplied by the tissue weighting factor. So equivalent dose for the thyroid we have to calculate. So we will write use this formula of the effective dose over here and then calculate for the thyroid. Now in this equation, that maximum allowable dose limit in a year is kept as a 20 millisievert. So the effective dose for the whole body tissue weighting factor is used as a 1, then it will be the 10 millisievert, and for the lung the tissue weighting factor is 0.12 and the equivalent dose is 50 millisievert, then multiplying it that becomes a 6 millisievert. Similarly for the thyroid, here the tissue weighting factor for the thyroid is given as a 0.04 and TH we have to calculate the equivalent dose for the thyroid has to be calculated. So the maximum dose limit is kept as a 20 millisievert effective dose. So after the using this solution of this equation, then 10 and 6 becomes 16 and then 20 minus 16 becomes a 4 millisievert. Then you will divide this 4 millisievert by thyroid weighting factor 0.04, then you will get the 100 millisievert. So 100 millisievert is the allowable equivalent dose to the thyroid. Now we will move towards the another question. The another question is asked that what is the daily discharge limit of iodine 131 from delay tank. So from for this the daily discharge limit has been defined as the 3.7 megabecquerel and this is a monthly discharge limit is 22.2 megabecquerel. Now it is a all solution of 10 questions. Thank you for watching, and in upcoming few days we will provide the solution of the practice set number 2.